Okay, the event has started. The event is recording. Morning, everyone. My name is Luke Thornton. I work for Douglas County. I am your WebEx host today for the first Seniors Council Douglas County meeting in 2022. If you have any technical questions, please send them via chat to me, the host, and I will do my best to help you with those issues. And now I'll hand it over to Gretchen Lopez.
Today, I have to say, we want to wish you a most happy new year and best wishes for good health and prosperity this year. Hopefully it'll be much better for all of us. I apologize for the last minute decision to cancel the in-person portion of this meeting. With the incoming inclement weather, we weren't really sure how severe that was going to be, and the rising number of COVID cases, we thought it was prudent to offer a virtual only meeting today. So that's why we're here that way. My name is Gretchen Lopez, and I'm the current chair of the Seniors Council and today's presenter. We are excited to share with you our accomplishments of last year and our plans for this year. And as we go along, if you have a question, please use the chat feature that is available to you. We wanted to let you know that there is a vacant position on the Advisory Committee on Aging. And for more information on that, we'll be in the First Friday update with a form, an application form, and that's coming out tomorrow. So you'll be receiving more information about that. It's very important that we fill that position as soon as we can. It is a representative of who we are as older adults in our county, and we can affect change much quicker if we are represented on that particular committee. Now, before we begin the presentation, I'd like to turn it over to Tiffany Curtin, our education chair. She has an announcement for us. We can't hear you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Gretchen. I want to share with you all some upcoming events in 2022 at Douglas County Libraries that you might be interested in joining us and participating in. So Luke, if you could share those PowerPoint, those slides. Great. So the first event that I want to let you know about, for those of you who have grandchildren between the ages of 4 and 10, we would like to invite you to register to join us for the Fairy Tale Ball with the Alice in Wonderland theme. So a wonderful way to share your share a classic fairy tale with those grandchildren, with activities that are always fun, and we hope that you can join us for those. If you could forward a little bit, Luke. Also, if you remember in 2021, we had a couple of presentations about people who had started their own businesses. And those presentations are still available on our YouTube page if you want to review those. But if you're still inspired to start your own business, we'd like to invite you to set up look to the presentation, but also to set up an appointment with one of our business librarians to help you really get started with some one-to-one attention to help you figure out some of those legal licensing steps that might be important for you and to make that an easy process for you and with the research you might need. Next. Great. Also, we will be inviting the AARP back to help us with some tax aid. So if you have fairly simple taxes and you want some help with that, the AARP will be at our Castle Rock, Highlands Ranch, and Parker libraries starting January 28th. So you do need to make an appointment, and there is information that you can call the library at 303-791-7323 to set up those appointments for you. Next. We have the ongoing Book Lovers meetings. So the next one we will have on Tuesday on January 25th. And for our book lovers, if you've never attended one, we invite special guests from the Penguin Random House Publishing Company to talk about new and exciting books that might be intriguing for you and engaging conversation about books, and a great way to connect with others who love books as well. Next. And we also have a new Travel Through History book club for those of you who like historical fiction or also nonfiction based on history. We are starting a book club at Castle Rock on the second Wednesday of each month. Those will meet at 1 p.m. And we do ask that you register for those as well. You can always register for events by calling 303-791-7323. I'll put that number in the chat box as well for those of you who might have missed it during this time. And the next one, Luke. And finally, we have a new program to engage with our community, particularly retirees. And we want to invite you to any of our branches on Tuesday mornings between 8:30 and 10 a.m. to come for some coffee chat. So drop in, we'll provide you with some coffee, great conversation. We'll have some games to engage us as well. And thank you for this time to let you all know about exciting things coming up at the library. And I hope to see many of you joining us at these events. And now I want to turn this back to Gretchen for her presentation today.
Thank you, Tiffany. Appreciate that. All right, Luke, I'm ready for the next slide. You may already know that our mission is to promote living well and aging well here in Douglas County. We strive to enhance the quality of life for all residents, but especially our older adults through education, advocacy, and collaboration. And this presentation is designed to address our efforts in all three of those categories. Next. We thought it would be helpful to take a quick look at how and when County Councils on Aging got started. In the mid-60s, the Older Americans Act was enacted to help older adults stay independent as long as possible in their homes and in their communities through a range of services, including congregate and home delivered meals, transportation, elder abuse prevention, part-time employment, and other services. It established the Administration on Aging at the federal level and state units on aging on the state level. And it was reauthorized in fiscal year 2020, authorizing funding through 2024 for these services. Then in '73, amendments were added to expand the effort to serve the needs of older adults by establishing regional agencies and county-level advisory councils. Our regional area agency on aging is located at the Denver Regional Council of Governments, also known as DRCOG. DRCOG serves 9 different counties, including Douglas County, by establishing guidelines, setting policy, and allocating funds in the areas of transportation, personal mobility, growth and development, and aging and disability resources. The Seniors Council of Douglas County is the local extension of this network. We represent the over 60,000 older residents in Douglas County, and by definition, that would be 60 years and older. And our function is to ensure local input on the issues affecting older adults and to share information on available resources. Now, our next slide will show you our executive committee folks. So let's put some names to those faces. As you can see there, I am right next to our vice chair, Mike Drake, at the top. Mike does a great job of attending key meetings of organizations focusing on older adult needs, such as the Strategic Action Planning Group on Aging, also known as SAPCA, and the newly renamed Colorado Center on Aging. And he reports back to the executive committee, all of us that you see there. He keeps us current with upcoming issues and legislation relative to our older population and enables us to share this information with you. To your extreme left, at the bottom there, is Tiffany Curtin, whom you just heard from, our education chair. She's responsible for recruiting our excellent presenters on a wide variety of interesting and helpful topics, as well as finding locations for our in-person meetings when they resume. She's already made some announcements about those wonderful programs, so I hope you took notes about that. We'll be mentioning that in future First Friday updates. In the middle spot there is Linda Odell, our publications chair. She diligently works with our presenters in providing articles to our area newspapers to promote our educational series. To her right is Shiloh Butterfield, our recording secretary, who is responsible for taking the minutes of our meetings, which happen to be posted on our webpage on the county website so you can see what's going on. Missing is a photo of Valerie Robson, our historian. She provides her expertise in numerous areas and was a major contributor to this PowerPoint presentation. We're also assisted on a regular basis by Kim Smith, Luke Thornton, and Allison Cutting at the county with the technological aspects of our virtual meetings, distribution of our electronic newsletter, First Friday Updates, and our webpage presence. So thank you to the executive committee team and all of our assistants. Ready for the next slide, Luke. Let's look at advocacy. In the area of advocacy, we continue to work with partners to provide access in the 4 areas you see listed here. Often it's knowing where to get services as well as getting the services themselves. And in this regard, we can be helpful. So we worked in these 4 areas: food and prescription deliveries, household and personal protection equipment, essential items, reassuring calls to isolated older adults, and then enrichment activities to keep our brains sharp and us physically fit. Ready for the next one, Luke. We also conducted a survey to identify the impact of the pandemic on our older residents and incorporated relative topics accordingly. This included speakers on the validity of information on the internet, since most of us have been using that, business opportunities during the pandemic, independent living tips, mindfulness as a method to maintain good mental health, and much, much more. One of the most innovative ways we advocated for our older adults was to sponsor an anti-ageism poetry contest, which I'll share details about in a moment. And finally, we promoted the concept of multi-generational outdoor fitness parks by making presentations to decision makers in Castle Rock and Larkspur. Let's take a closer look at that right now. There we go. Starting in the mid-90s, China began requiring all its citizens to exercise on a daily basis in order to stay healthy. They began building older adult playgrounds in the neighborhoods where older adults resided. The equipment selected for these particular playgrounds was specifically designed for older adults and focused on improving balance, flexibility, and mobility. Additionally, coming together at these locations encouraged social interaction and reduced the negative effects of social isolation. This concept then gained traction in Europe, Asia, and then finally spread to the United States. There are approximately 25 states that have already dedicated outdoor space for what is called older adult playgrounds. Here in Colorado, however, there are only 3 locations that have moved forward with this concept: Salida, El Jebel, and Greenwood Village. Currently, there are no locations here in Douglas County with special outdoor equipment for older adults. And you can see the pictures there in other countries of what some of this equipment might look like. And I have to say, the lady lifting her legs in the upper, I couldn't do that in my 20s, much less now in my 70s, but God bless her. So we're ready for the next slide. We feel that this concept can be improved upon by bringing the generations together instead of separating them, having the older adults use the equipment away from other generations. And so we call this multi-generational outdoor fitness parks. By including outdoor equipment for all ages in one location, neighbors can get to know each other and friendships formed while exercising. And although the equipment is specifically designed with older adults in mind, it can be used by individuals of all ages and often accommodates even younger people with disabilities. So it really makes sense financially as well. If you buy one piece of equipment that only caters to a particular age group, that kind of excludes most of who's coming to the park. However, if you purchase some of this equipment for older adults, everyone can use it. Additionally, it seems logical to assume that these types of parks could make living here even more desirable and increase our property values. We have no data on that, but it only seems logical that this would occur. Ready to move on. Let's look at a few pictures of some equipment here. This equipment that you see is part of an older adult mini park in Greenwood Village. It's off by itself and unfortunately doesn't get much use. It's kind of hidden from the road and across the parking lot from a school. And this emphasizes our point about including this type of equipment into existing parks where it will have much greater use by all the residents. A number of local parks are currently scheduled for updating, and it seems the ideal time to incorporate older adult fitness equipment into the newly designed parks. This past year, we spoke to decision makers in Castle Rock and Larkspur about this concept, and our ideas were well received. It will take a lot of planning to make it happen, but we're hopeful it will come to fruition over the next year or two. We're ready to move on. Let's look at some of our educational accomplishments. You can see that the first half of last year, we had a variety of different topics. And we are very happy to say that we had 12 virtual presentations. And our next two slides, this slide and the next one, kind of highlight what those topics were. All of these presentations were pre-recorded and are available on our YouTube channel. If you'd like to re-watch one of them, or if there's one that you would miss, they're certainly available to you now as well. Okay, let's move on to the next one. In the area of collaboration, and in addition to working with our 3 partners in sponsoring the Every Age Counts poetry contest, we collaborated with other organizations in the county that serve our older population, as you can see there. We were active at the Highlands Ranch Adult Drive-Through Health and Information Fair. We participated in the Town of Parker informational outreach at the Parker Senior Stroll, and of course with the Older Adult Health Fair hosted by Legacy of Castle Pines. In addition, we renewed our membership to the Metro Denver Senior Coalition so we can network with other organizations that serve older adults. Let's look at the next slide, Luke. It was particularly gratifying to help promote both senior centers with their fundraising events, as well as connecting folks to resources and encouraging them to participate in the county survey. The county survey really focused on, what are the particular health issues that folks living in Douglas County feel are important. And the fundraising efforts for the 2 senior centers encourages people to get involved with the senior centers and take advantage of their special programming. Let's look at our outreach accomplishments. We continued our outreach activities via our electronic newsletter, and if you don't already receive it, please give us an email. We can put you on the distribution list. This comes directly to your email address, and we'll keep you abreast of what's going on in the county and let you know about certain events that you can attend, and just keep you in the loop, just generally speaking. We also continued our monthly and quarterly news articles in the various local newspapers. And many times these articles will give you a glimpse of what the next presentation is going to be the following month, but sometimes there's an article in there just of interest in general. Now let's look at our project updates for this past year. Because of our growing adult population here in Douglas County, as I'd mentioned, there's a new third representative's position open on the DRCOG Advisory Committee on Aging. So we established a selection process, and we are currently ready to accept applications for individuals who are interested in serving in this capacity. You can email us at dcseniorlife@douglas.co.us or at scdc.colorado@gmail.com if you're interested in learning more. And as I mentioned, it is going to be featured in our First Friday update tomorrow. Also, we worked on our multi-generational outdoor fitness parks PowerPoint. And as I shared with you a few slides ago, we presented it to decision makers in both Castle Rock and Larkspur. We'll be following up with them in the next few months to see how they're progressing in this effort. And hopefully we'll have some good news for you in the future. Let's look at our goals for this year. We plan to continue with our monthly virtual meetings during the first half of Oh, wait a minute. What's happening? Oh, I see what happened. We skipped a few. All right, let's talk about our Every Age Counts poetry contest. You can see by the slide that our motivation here was to raise awareness of ageism and how it negatively impacts everyone in our community. Unfortunately, our society promotes the idea that once we are advanced in years, we lose our value and become a drain on others. Nothing could be further from the truth. We still are vibrant contributors to the economy, to our educational system, the workforce, and offer a unique perspective that only experience can provide. We feel strongly that changing the way people think, act, and speak about aging can enhance the quality of life for all Douglas County residents. And so we decided to sponsor an amateur poetry contest open to county residents, regardless of age, to share their ideas of the positive aspects of aging. This was a first of its kind anti-ageism event, both nationally and globally. So we're very honored to be a model for others in the anti-ageism initiative. Next slide. We partnered with Changing the Narrative Colorado, Douglas County Libraries, and Douglas County School District to ensure that we could reach out to all age groups through the extensive networks that we each have. We recruited a panel of 4 judges, which consisted of teachers, librarians, and a published poet. We designed a special toolkit complete with lesson plans for the district's teachers and conducted the contest from August 1st through September 15th, the beginning of the school year. Let's move on. You can see by this picture here, we had 8 winners, ranging in age from 11 to 56 plus. They read their poems and received certificates and gift bags at an awards celebration we held on November 6th at the Highlands Ranch Library. Articles announcing the winners appeared in several local newspapers, and recognition was received from leaders at the state level. Okay, let's look at the pictures that we have from that contest. Here are a few photos from the awards celebration. We are also working on a booklet containing all the winning entries, complete with photos of the poets and a short bio. Hopefully it will be available on our webpage soon. And you can see by the pictures, I like that little fella digging into that chocolate cake. That was a big hit for the refreshments there for the little ones. Many of our poets were younger people, and they brought their families. So it was a great family recognition and honor of all the poets. All right, I think now we're ready for our year's goals. There we go. All right. We plan to continue with our monthly virtual meetings during the first half of 2022 and hopefully return to in-person meetings later in the year. We'll keep you posted on this because, of course, it's going to depend on the safety of all of us health-wise. We'll also continue distributing our electronic newsletter, as well as starting to plan for a fall 2023 Vintage and Vibrant, our day-long educational event. We could use some extra help with the planning of this event, so if you'd like to assist us, please let us know. We're going to start planning this year, and it's going to take quite an effort, especially considering the health concerns that people have. But we've received a lot of requests to reinstate Vintage and Vibrant. It was such a hit several years ago, and so we're determined to have that happen in the fall. We'll also be sharing our multi-generational outdoor fitness parks concept with others in the county and work on increasing our presence on the county's website. Let's go to the next slide. Our outreach efforts to engage more county residents, service provider representatives, organizations with a heart for helping older adults, and community leaders will continue to move forward this year. In addition, updating our Senior Council's brochure is on our to-do list as well, and we'll continue to submit articles of interest to local newspapers. And now for the first and second quarter of our education series. Here's a sneak peek. Take a look at the dates and mark your calendars. Meetings always begin at 10 a.m. and meeting flyers go out just a few days to a week before as a reminder of what's coming up. So you can see today's year in review is listed. And then next month, we are hearing from Brandon Davis on the Senior Health Insurance Program, also called SHIP, and the Senior Medicare Patrol, which fights fraud at the federal level, how we can help with that effort. And then in March, we even have space travel for older adults on the schedule. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll book a flight. Don't worry about that. But what we learn about aging and the impact space travel has on an aging body may help us better understand the aging process and possibly slow down or even reverse aging as we know it. So we're pretty excited about having Dr. Bailey come in and share her expertise in this particular area. Let's look at the second quarter. In April, we have another unique topic, practical and helpful guidance on how to have those very difficult conversations with our younger family members. Sometimes our grandchildren, nieces or nephews approach us to listen or give advice on experiences that they're having. And sometimes we haven't had those experiences. I know myself, I never had to worry about a student sitting next to me and carrying a gun or a weapon, or many of the other things that our younger people are going through in the schools. What should we say? Or better still, what shouldn't we say to keep the lines of communication open and to be reassuring and supportive of these younger people? So we have Dr. Linda Van Meter coming in, speaking to us about that. That should be very helpful. And we'd like that to be very interactive. So be bringing your questions to that particular session so we can have the advice of Dr. Van Meter. She's a clinical psychologist. She has over 30 years of experience, so I'm sure she's going to be very helpful to us. We're already working on intriguing and innovative speakers for the second half of the year, and we'd love to hear your suggestions for topics as well. Our contact information will appear at the end of this presentation, so please don't hesitate to let us know what's on your mind, what you would find interesting, and if you know of some excellent speakers you've heard of, let us know about those speakers so we can contact them and explore a possibility of inviting them to speak to us here. Next is the slide with our contact information. You can catch us on Facebook. You can reach us through our email. Our YouTube, as I mentioned, has our previous presentations pre-recorded, so you can take a look at those. Don't hesitate to reach out to us if you'd like more information about what we have planned, more details, your suggestions. We'd love to take your suggestions to heart and see if that can provide some direction for us over the coming year. At this point, do we have any questions in the chat area, Luke?
No questions at the moment, Gretchen.
Okay. One area that we really need some assistance is anybody with marketing experience or writing experience. You know, we have some projects where we would really like to expand our efforts in these areas. Other talents are also welcome. We would love to have your input and your participation in our efforts in serving older adults here in this county.
Gretchen, I don't have a question, but Diane Leavesley would like to speak about the Oakwood seniors too in Castle Rock.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hold on, Diane. Okay, Diane, you are unmuted.
Thank you. So Douglas County Housing Partnership has been working for years, and we're happy to report that we had our first tenant move into our new property for seniors in Castle Rock, Oakwood Senior 2. It's 53 units on 3 floors, and we finally have elevators, which we didn't have in the original property. And I just want to make sure that people are aware of it. It's on Oakwood Drive, right next to the high school. And believe it or not, we're more than 50% leased, but there are still some units if anyone is looking for a 1-bedroom. It's very exciting. Besides having a community room that maybe someday Seniors Council would like to use, we also have for the tenants raised bed gardens. We put in lots of sidewalks so you can get walking around the building. We have a dog run. We have an exercise room that doesn't have equipment yet due to issues with supply chain. We also are having a few issues in regard to getting all of our furniture, but I think in another month, even though it'll be filled with people, we're hoping that by then we'll have all our furniture that's on back order. But on a more positive note, just to say the construction went well and we finished on time and under budget.
Well, that's fantastic news all around.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Doug.
We can handle a few tables that we don't have. We have the tabletop and not the legs to put them on, but we're waiting for the next, the next shipment.
Well, it wouldn't be interesting if there wasn't a few challenges involved.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you mentioning that to us, sharing that information. Maybe there's some of us that would consider needing to move there or having friends that are looking for new and exciting housing here in Castle Rock. That's really terrific. Thanks for the invite and for the community room. I'll definitely be talking to you in the future about that possibility.
Okay.
That's so great to hear. So great to hear. We're, housing for older adults here in Castle Rock is a great need, and exciting news to hear that we have some new apartments available. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thanks for letting me speak.
Of course, of course. Still no questions, Luke?
Nope, no more questions. Valerie, you may speak if you wish.
Luke, thank you so much. I just wanted to, and I don't know if you saw this, Gretchen, but Commissioner Thomas was with us this morning.
Oh, I didn't realize.
She did have to leave for another meeting just a moment ago, but
Okay.
she did want to wish us all a happy new year. And I would personally like to just thank her for participating in today's meeting and for hearing what great things the Senior Council has been up to and plans to do.
Yes, absolutely. I unfortunately did not have the list of participants up on my laptop here. So thank you for sharing that information. Very, very important to have the commissioners know what we're doing and what we're planning, and her support's very much appreciated. So very good. Well,
Gretchen, I have a comment here from
yes.
Kim Silres. I'm sorry, Kim, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. But she says she wants to make sure that all seniors are invited to attend the Collaboration in Aging event on February 10th and 11th. It's an in-person event. They have a certified pandemic compliance officer on staff and will be following all CDC and county guidelines. And then
Oh,
she's
okay.
posted a link here that I'll share to everybody for the Collaboration in Aging event she's speaking. So I will put this in the comments for people.
Excellent, excellent. And if Kim, you can get us information about this event to us, we will include it in the February First Friday update to get the word out to some more people about attending. So thank you for mentioning that. That's very important for our planning. Very good. Any others that have comments or information about events that our audience should know about? Well, I want to thank everyone that joined us this morning to listen to what we've done and what we have planned. We certainly appreciate you taking time today to be with us. I have to say, I am over here at the Philip S. Miller building, and it is quite chilly outside, single digits according to the car temperature function. And so stay warm, stay happy and healthy, and we hope to see you next week, next month. So we'll say goodbye for now and best wishes.